Hello everyone, welcome to the Growth Switch with me Cyril. This being episode 11 in our video series. Can you believe it's been 11 episodes already? I can't believe it in this short space of time. Remember, if you've missed the insights from the other 10 episodes, you can go to the channel and catch them there. We've got everything for everyone, depending on which stage of your journey you're on. So yeah, you pick and choose which topics are relevant to you, and you just listen to the insights, and you pick and choose as well which of the insights are relevant to you and which ones you are going to apply in your life. You might not apply them how they've been explained, but you might apply them in a way that will make sense to you in terms of where you are on your journey. In this episode, we're going to cover purpose, passion, and vision. Very important aspect of anyone's life. Basically, what we do here in this world throughout our life is firstly we search for what is our purpose, and we basically aim to align how we live on an everyday basis in accordance with that purpose, right? Now, finding what your purpose is, it can be a very challenging journey. Each one's journey is different. I can say that myself, it's taken me quite a while actually. I had to ask myself this question for quite a long time. I think it's up until probably last year or the year before where I essentially figured out that my purpose is to be here and impact lives positively and help others to grow in their personal development. From where I come from, in my background, coming from a disadvantaged background, I've experienced quite a lot of lack of knowledge or not necessarily full understanding of certain aspects when it comes to career and personal development, particularly from where I come from and the people who come from similar backgrounds that I come from. And essentially, what I do is to help them, to equip them with the knowledge, so that in their growth journey, their personal development journeys, they're empowered with that knowledge. Essentially, when we grow up at home or at school, or even if you are fortunate to go to a tertiary institution, they don't teach some of these things that I'm covering as part of this video series. Now, it doesn't mean that I essentially, what do you call it, that I'm a know-it-all type guy. There's a lot I don't know as well. But through this series, at least I can equip people with knowledge on aspects that I do know, right? So that is essentially what I found to be my purpose. Now, how I discharge or fulfill that purpose, firstly through this channel, and then I'm also authoring some books. I've got two books out already. They're available on Amazon.com under the title "I'm Not Supposed to Be Here" and under my pen name Abidam Lyric, which is basically my name spelled backwards. Then essentially it's to give people inspiring and motivational content that will basically help you realize that you can achieve what you dream of. And then through this series, I can then equip you with practical insights of how you can do that. And you can apply that to your day-to-day basis as you see fit according to where you are on your journey. So essentially, it's like I'm saying, figuring out your purpose. It's effectively a personal journey that you have to go on. Some people from a very young age basically know what exactly they're going to be doing, right? But some people, it takes them quite a while, you know. I know a mate of mine who I met about 10 years ago, and he, from the time I met him, he knew exactly what it is that he wanted to do, which is he wanted to, after his studies, do his training, then at some point in the near future, I wanted to go into business and do his thing within the business world. And that is what he's doing today. But for some people, like I said, like me, it takes quite a long time. Because remember, like I said earlier, we're not engineered to think in that way. So it takes quite a while sometimes. But as long as you get there, the point is to get there, and then you then start to align activities in your life based on that. And then you also leave the purpose even in your 9 to 5, right? If you have the 9 to 5, you must also leave the purpose, you know. So this thing of empowering people with knowledge, I also leave it in my 9 to 5, you know. I always tell some of my colleagues, it's no use that I know everything that's going on when they do not know what's going on. So the sharing of knowledge for me to make sure everyone's on the same page and we're all understanding what's going on is particularly very, very important. But each person needs to figure out their own purpose. Okay. Now, it's a key area of life because everything in your life will revolve around it, right? What you do for a living, it impacts all aspects of your family, friends, not necessarily which friends you're going to pick and choose, or you might pick and choose friends with similar interests to you, but some won't, right? But from that point of view, it will impact maybe how much time you spend with them because fulfilling your purpose might demand a lot of you. So there's lots of aspects to it, even your family as well. You might spend less time with your family or more time. It depends, right? But what I'm trying to make is it impacts your whole life, which is why you can't neglect it and leave it to chance, right? Okay. You need to figure out what your purpose, like I said earlier, and what your passion, right? So your passion might be linked to your purpose, right? Sometimes there are two different things, and but through your passion, you might be able to fulfill your purpose. So if you're a sports star and you enjoy playing football, let's say, and then you make it big and you're playing in one of the big leagues, say in the Premier League or La Liga, in Europe, you're playing in the Champions League there, and you become a global superstar. But your purpose in life is to perhaps promote humanity, and that we need to help each other to alleviate poverty. So then everything you do outside of your football activities or maybe linked to that as part of your brand, you then use your brand to be able to partner with organizations that are going to assist globally in terms of alleviating poverty. So you see how those things you can then link them up in a way. But sometimes it's all in one, right? Sometimes it's all in one. You might say your purpose is to alleviate poverty, and then you work at one of the organizations that does alleviate poverty. So you see, you've managed to align everything in one space. But sometimes it's not that. Uh, Sometimes it's not that compatible. So you need to find a way to do it. Like for me, for instance, I'm a chartered accountant. I work in a financial institution in finance. That I've found a way where I'm still able to discharge of my purpose when I'm still working in the financial institution. So it's about how you do it in your capacity and what's going to work for you in terms of where you are. Okay. Now, in terms of purpose and vision, you need to think about your goals for your life. What goals do you have for your life? Now, the goals for your life, what we tend to do as people normally when we set goals based on the constraints we have right now. You know what I'm saying? So if right now I only have 10 rands, and then I set goals based on the 10 rands that I have, you know, which is all good and well because we're probably adopting more of a what would term a realistic or conservative approach. But when it comes to your purpose and your vision, you must remove all kinds of what do you call it? All kinds of barriers and constraints. So you should ask yourself is, if I didn't have any money or time constraints or any other resources that I like right now, how would I envision my life being in the next 5, 10, 20 years? And then you write that down. Like I've done for myself, I've written down my goals list is 20 plus. That's life goals. When people see something and they're like, that's hashtag life goals. But for me, that's life goals for me that I want to achieve, not only for me, but for me, my family, my extended family as well. Sometimes, it's basically what you want to achieve. Okay. And once you've done that, you can then work backwards and say, okay, so if that's what I want to achieve, what are the goals? What do I need to be doing now that's going to allow me to achieve this? So you might realize, okay, maybe I might need to upskill, or I might need to change my career, or I might need to get a mentor. So it depends on where you are on the journey, but it's something critical to do because it helps you build that vision, and that vision needs to scare you. So when you look at that vision, you must be like, you must look at vision and say, okay, now I can do this in my sleep, I'll do it tomorrow. It must be a vision you look at and you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm going to do this. Yeah, but because those are the visions that are going to stretch you and have you achieving things that you never thought possible in your life. Uh, you, one thing we must never do is downplay our own abilities. You know, if the ecosystem around you is telling you that you can't do something, then you probably don't have the right ecosystem around you, and you probably should not be listening to that ecosystem that much. You need to believe in yourself and your abilities, and through your vision that you pen down, you can then build the life you want to live, and then work backwards. What goals you need to be putting in place, right? You need to write down those goals, right? That will help you achieve your vision, make it come true, and then you need to assess yourself against those goals on a regular, right? How often you'll assess yourself is self-dependent, right? For me, I assess it every quarter or every 6 months. Um, um, for you, it might be every month or it might be every year. I don't know, but it's something that's going to work for you. Also, it depends on the goal, right? If the goal is for you to, let's say, you want to live healthy and you want your cholesterol levels, maybe you've got cholesterol issues or sugar level issues, and you want to eat healthy so that you maintain them at a specific range, right? So that's something that you might want to monitor on a more regular basis, you know than another thing that you might have as a goal, because that's more life threatening. That's life. If that doesn't come right, in the long term, it might actually be the end of you. So you need to figure out how it's going to work for you. You might also want to reassess your goals when a major event happens, like for example this COVID-19 situation, this pandemic that we're going through globally. For me, I'm having to assess my goals, particularly the financial ones, right? Because when I made them in Jan, it didn't take into account that we would now be in lockdown, and the other implications that might come with that, right? Because about assessing, okay, so what does this mean now? And also remember, I can't, as much as I can assess my goals now, I don't have all the information I need, because I don't know, for example, how long this pandemic would last, what will happen after it. So I can put assumptions in my reassessments, but that's the best that I can do now. But the key is to reassess. You know, if for example you had planned on your business making so much money, your business is now closed, right? Because it might be considered non-essential. What does that mean for you? That means probably your revenue targets, or however much you thought you were going to sell, you might not make that target. So you might need to revise that. You might now have to turn more into survival mode in terms of your goals. Okay, so how do I survive this year? Make sure that at least I live to fight another day. You know, yeah. So assessing regularly is very, very important. But essentially, this whole episode here, these are the things. Like I said earlier, particularly if you come from a disadvantaged environment, you're never actually advised to think in this way about your life. You just live, and you live basically day by day. And yes, you can live day by day, but essentially what you do on that day by day should get you closer to achieving your vision that you have for you. Some people even go as far as having vision boards, to make it more visual, and they stick it up somewhere, either at home or at their place. So a vision board, basically, you take your goals. So if your goal is, okay, so in the next 10 years, I want to live in Pretoria, in Silver Lakes Estates, in a three bath house, double story with a automatic garage, and it must be white in color. Then you find a picture of a house that fits that description, and you put it in your vision board. If I want my parents' house, I want to renovate my parents' house, so that it looks great. Currently, it doesn't look that good. You find a house that looks similar to your parents' house, but in future, how you want it to look. So it makes it more visual, so that when you look at it, you actually have it in your mind. Sometimes when you make things visual, they become clearer in terms of in your mind. Yeah. So what's key is you need to be thinking in this manner. It's like I said, the purpose takes a while to get there, but the point is to get there. so that you at least wake up with the purpose, you wake up with motivation, you know what you're doing every day is taking you closer to achieving your vision. And remember, your vision won't come through necessarily overnight. So sometimes they say it takes one act to become an overnight success, but actually behind it, success is many, 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 many hours of work and multiple failures behind it. So don't assume that you will then achieve a vision overnight. You might fail over and over again. But the key is to get up and try again. So yeah, if you found this helpful at all, you can share with others who stand to benefit the most. Remember, we're on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. And remember to subscribe to the page so you get notification when we load more videos. And yeah, I mean, find your purpose, find your passion, and build that vision. Live with purpose every single day. Let's grow together.